Well, I thought I'd start this celebration of your number one station with a question. What was the first song to be played on Mansfield 103.2 on that cold day in 1999 at the beginning of February at 8 a.m?
Like a warrior that fights and wins the battle.
If you were listening back then you would have known. The song is George Michael and Aretha Franklin's I Knew You Were Waiting. Well, the waiting was over, but for Mansfield 103.2's programme controller Katie Trinder, that day's a bit of a blur.
I don't really remember a lot, to be perfectly honest. I know I got here really early in the morning, and from them it's sort of a blur. There was a whole whiz of people coming in and out. There was a huge marquee outside, but most of my day was spent upstairs in the newsroom, so I didn't even get a glass of champagne or a croissant. So it was a really, really busy day, but it was a lot of good fun. It was the first time I'd ever worked at any sort of radio station, and to be there on the very first day was something very, very special.
If you want to trace the real beginnings of the radio station, you have to go back even further. Our chairman, Alex Mackay.
In 1989, we had a visit from people from Mansfield in Ohio in America on a twinning arrangement, and the following year Philip Smith and myself went back over. At the time we were both Mansfield district councillors, and we were interested in seeing what benefits could come from the connection. The main benefit that really came from it was that we found out the way they ran local radio, and we thought, well, hey, we think we can do this in England.
From humble beginnings, Mansfield 103.2 has grown and grown. Managing Director Tony Delahunty.
When I first arrived at Mansfield, I'd been in Mansfield many times because I'd worked for other great stations in the area. It was completely new, and the studios weren't built, and I just wondered what it would be like, And some people said to me, you're going to be under the shadow of big stations all over the place. And I wondered whether we would, but the thing that struck me most of all, and in a way it was an advantage, was the Mansfield people. And I thought, they're proud, their roots, even the old coal mines and that sort of thing, made them strong people. And they don't want an identity mixed with other places. They want their own identity. And hey presto, that was the success of Mansfield 103.2. It effectively belongs to the ears and the thoughts of the people of Mansfield, Ashfield and Bolsover. That's why it's successful.
When I spoke to Katie Trinder earlier today, she had this message for our listeners on our 6th birthday.
I think I'd just like to say thank you to all the listeners of Mansfield 103.2. As cheesy as it sounds, it is a real sort of family community of feel working here at Mansfield 103.2. Listeners phone you up and they'll say, oh, it's my birthday today, or they'll tell you when they've had a really bad day, or they'll tell you when something's really nice has happened to them. So it is like having lots of friends in lots of different places. So I think I'd like to just say a big, big thank you.
I'm Ben Johnson reporting for Mansfield 103.2, and all that's left for me to say is, play it again, Watkins.
And that, of course, was the first song ever to be played on Mansfield 103.2 6 years ago today. This is the News Hour, with you through until 6 o'clock. It's me, Ian Watkins. And talking of our 6th birthday, we're doing something very, very special this year. We are having a performance, an extravaganza at the Palace Theatre on the 12th of February. It's called Taking Them Off. And I've got the director of that performance here with me, George Rickson. Good evening, George.
Hi, Ian.
So tell us, George, a little bit about this performance. I've heard lots about it already, but it's going to be absolutely fabulous, isn't it?
I really do hope so. A lot of work's gone into it. Basically, it's a stars in their eyes style performance, except it's not a competition. So we've got impersonations of groups, solos. We've got music for everyone there, and there's backing dancers, and it's going to be a very glamorous evening.
So how long has this been sort of in the making, so to speak? You must have been putting this together for a very long time. It takes a lot of preparation, this kind of thing, doesn't it?
It does take a lot of preparation. It's been in the pipeline really since March of last year. The auditions went underway in October, and we picked a crew of 45 people, and they obviously will be in the performance. And we started rehearsing straight away, October, and obviously we're still rehearsing now, and there's 11 days to go.
With just under 2 weeks, though, to go, you must be very nervous yourself. You being the director of the show. How are those rehearsals actually going so far?
They're very stressful because we're getting so close, obviously. But everyone's really enjoying it, and I think it's going to be great. People are practicing their singing and trying on costumes and wigs and makeup, and people have even shaved moustaches off that they've had for 36 years, so they're really getting into it.
So what about the people from Mansfield 103.2, because there are a few of us that are actually taking part in that performance. To name a few, Katie Trinder, she's going to be in there. Also our managing director Tony Delahunty. How are they coping?
Well, Tony did struggle a little with his dance routine at the beginning. He was doing tap dancing, but we've had to make it slightly more simple because basically he had to go into physiotherapy for about 2 weeks afterwards. But Katie, she's doing great. She's got a team of 12 backing dancers. I'm in it myself. Who else? Norman Cox, he's in it. We've got loads of people. Sophie Laverick, Joe Bevan.
Sounds like it's going to be a fabulous performance. And so much so that obviously we've been promoting this for a while.
We have.
All the tickets have been sold. There's been people sort of knocking on the doors at Mansfield 103.2. Give us a ticket. We can't give you any tickets. We've got none left. That's what we've been saying. What can the people who have the tickets expect on the night of the 12th at the Palace Theatre?
Well, it's going to be a special night. It's going to be old school theatre, the way it used to be. We've got flowers in the foyer, champagne and chocolates for the guests. A lot of people are putting on their evening dress, and we've got music for everyone, as I've said before. We've got T-Rex, the Spice Girls, U2, Madonna, Elton John, Mary Hopkin, Donny Osmond, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. There's something in there for everyone, young and old, and I think that's what the radio station's about, really. Music for everyone.
Of course, been here for 6 years now. Those people who didn't manage to get tickets, there is some good news, isn't there?
There is good news. There's two ways. Obviously, you could buy the DVD and video, which details will be broadcast of after the show, so you'll get to see the whole performance. Or if you want to sit in and get a cup of coffee, put your feet up, the entire show will be broadcast as live on the night.
Well,
so be there.
As they say, George, break a leg.
Oh, thanks.
I hope it goes all well. I'm sure it will do. Taking them off the performance on the 12th of February to celebrate our 6th birthday. And I guess while you're here, also say happy birthday to you.